In this video, we will learn how to calculate a weighted average. Now, the first thing I'd like to say about this is that we've already learned how to do all the steps we're about to do when we learned how to calculate the mean from a frequency distribution. The formula was almost identical, except instead of W's, we had F's for frequency. And this really is no different. Here we have the students, the number of students in each school is going to be the weight for that test score because we're trying to calculate the average test score, but as a weighted average based on how many students were in each school. So we could just change this to an F and even change these to F's, and it would be the exact same calculation we've already learned. So I'll show it again, but it's really no different. And you just multiply each x times f. And remember, we also did this with a grouped frequency distribution, but first we had to find the midpoints. So if you get something with class limits, remember first to find the x values by taking the midpoint of each class and move on from there. But then it's all downhill. It's the same thing, x times f all the way down. Then add up all the frequencies or all of the weights, depending on the case, and all of the, you can actually copy this sideways. And then you just take the sum of the products divided by the sum of the frequencies, or in other words, the sample size. And there's your answer. Now, with weighted averages, another way that you might like to think about it that might be more intuitive, maybe not, is to think of your weights as a percentage, or you could make relative frequencies, same idea. You would take all your x values, we'll just copy these over, and each frequency or each weight would be the number of students in that school divided by the total number of students. And let's use F4 to make that sum of F a reference that we come back to for each one of these. So we want to always divide by that same total. And now notice that this is going to sum up to 1. And so what that means is I don't have to divide. It won't make a difference if I divide. So all I have to do is multiply each of these by the relative weight or relative frequency, and then sum that up, and then I'll have my answer. So, I mean, I don't know if one's really easier than another, but to me, this is just a little more intuitive. You get your percentages, but it just depends, I guess, on the person. So, whichever way you like, live long and prosper.